baby, yeah!
Hey guys, I am sorry for the wait, but I am finally back, and today I'm going to give you guys chapter 8 of the manga, Versus. So in this new chapter, we are going to see how our heroes do with their mission against the giants, and we also get a look at New Humanity. So I hope you guys are excited for this chapter because I'm excited to read it to you. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. Our giant mission heroes are still face to face with a group of giants, who proceed to laugh at them as they try to plead their case. The giants find the humans somewhat interesting so far. Ario continues to advise himself on what to do next, which most importantly is to appear calm and not to anger the giants, not even a little. Ario proceeds with the plan and explains to the giants that they are not there to fight. They are there to announce their surrender and to lead the giants to their base, where they can collect whatever resources they'd like. They just ask the giants spare their lives. The giants laugh at Ario's proposal and call him lame. The heroes look at each other nervously. Then Ario thinks to himself that this may be the best time to use the peace magic on the giants to combat the giants' natural violent impulses. Another human steps forward to attempt to take control of the situation and completely persuade the giants to accept their surrender. The human that stepped forward is businessman Shigeru from the Misfortune World. He further explains to the giants that if they choose to massacre the humans, they will lose the opportunity to learn how to use their technology and magic. This would not be a smart move on the giants' part. The giants look at the talkative human with confusion. Shigeru tries to build his own confidence in the matter by remembering that he is a master of negotiation, and before the collapse of his world, his company entrusted him to handle very important business discussions. He believes he's got an advantage over the giants. Shigeru assures the giants that all they want is to be allowed to live and asks that the giants take the humans under their umbrella of protection in exchange for labor and services. They promise they won't ask any more of the giants. As Shigeru continues to propose, a giant suddenly and swiftly smashes the other human from the machine rule world into the earth like a bug, killing him instantly. Shigeru's frozen in shock. The giant then grabs the corpse of the squashed human and begins to eat him. As he does, he offers Shigeru to continue. As Shigeru continues to attempt to understand what just happened, the giant eating the human corpse complains about his texture and flavor. Ario shouts for the giants to please stop killing them and to actually listen. Ario insists to the giants they are not their enemies. One giant becomes agitated and states, "You were always our enemies. No, our food, our toys, and garbage," as he prepares to smash his club down on the vulnerable Riem from the magic world. Bragnite comes to the rescue of the defenseless Riem. He uses his arms and body to block the massive impact from the giant's weapon. Although Bragnite is a large human himself, he is not immune to the strength of the giants and has now sustained a broken bone injury. Bragnite urges Riem to use the magic spell they had planned to make the giants less violent, as he sweats from the immense pain. Ario agrees with Bragnite and also orders Riem to begin her spell. Riem shakes and says the word beginning. Ario doesn't understand. Riem turns to Ario shaking and states in detail this time that she had already casted the magic spell Spirit Peace Magic from the beginning of approaching the giants. We then see, through magical eyes, the giants with the magical aura surrounding their presence. Riem states the magic must not be as effective as normal because the giants are so violent and angry in nature, the spell won't help very much. Even Bragnite is surprised at the ineffectiveness of the spell. One giant suspects they are being tampered with and questions the humans about it. The humans anticipate another attack coming next. Shigeru thinks to himself that they are about to be killed. Then he pictures his wife and son. The thought of his love and young son gives him the strength to try something. Shigeru runs to the front and begins to sternly shout to the giants to please consider their proposal. Using the humans and all they have to offer will surely make the giants' lives much easier. Shigeru thinks to himself, don't give up. Word should be able to reach them because they can talk, unlike those calamities. Shigeru continues to shout at the giants, pleading with them to reconsider. A giant raises his weapon in the sky. Ario yells to Shigeru to stop yelling at the giants, but it's too late. The giant smashes Shigeru against the earth, killing him instantly. Ario can't believe his eyes. Jupiter, from the cosmic devil world, states, "I get it now. There's no conversing with barbarians who don't listen to reason." Jupiter uses voice command to activate his cosmic ring located on his back. As an energy ring begins to widen from the device, Jupiter begins to lift in the air and take flight. Jupiter then launches in the sky to hover directly over the giants. The giants gaze upon Jupiter flying in the air, amazed. Jupiter then sets targets on each giant. Then stars begin to appear in the sky. There is a satellite in space that is locked on to each target and blasts laser beams towards the earth. The beams strike the giants where they stand, causing them pain. As the giants try to figure out the source of the attack, Jupiter gets excited that it's causing damage. Jupiter continues to rain a hail of laser beams down on the giants as he flies over them, confidently talking shit. Next thing he knows, a giant jumps into the sky right in front of him, showing the super strength the giant possesses. Jupiter is in shock at the speed and massiveness of the giant. Avoiding the giant at this point would be like dodging a skyscraper that has been thrown at you. The giant crushes Jupiter, literally like an annoying bug hovering in the air. The giant falls back down to the earth, creating an explosion of dust from the force of his massive body. The only three humans left, Ario, Bragnite, and Riam, look upon the giants with despair and fear, trying to figure out what their next move should be. Ario thinks to himself that the chances of successfully reasoning with the giants is slim to none. He's starting to think that, like Jupiter, they should just attempt to inflict as much damage on these giants as they can before they are surely killed. Bragnite touches Ario's shoulder, then walks towards the giants as he explains. The fact that 3 of them are still alive for this long means the giants are still interested in them. He then says, "If I let them have their fun, there might be a small chance." Ario calls out to Bragnite and asks, "What does let them have their fun mean?" Bragnite answers by stating, "I don't know if this will work, but no matter what happens, stay quiet and watch." His last words to Ario are, "I'll leave the rest to you." Alright guys, I just want to talk about that part real quick. I just really want to have a heart-to-heart with everybody right now. Like, the story is so good that just that part right there kind of has me in my feelings and like teary-eyed a bit.
You gonna cry? You gonna cry? You gonna... No! What are you? Huh? Are you gonna squirt some? You gonna cry? Huh? Yes.
Because I think most of us can take from the context of what Bragnite just said is that he's about to, in some way, sacrifice himself. That's what I assume. And by saying, let them have their fun, it probably just means he's gonna let them beat up on him until they beat him to death. That's what I would assume. Sounds very brutal, but I mean, that's what we're probably going to look at here. And it's getting me teary-eyed, bro, because I don't think a lot of people have really sat down and thought about what it feels like, both physically and mentally, to stare death in the face and walk towards it, accept it, and even like embrace it, because you just know there's no way out of this and there's nothing I can do other than, again, just embrace it, accept it, and try to save other people or, whatever. If that's the case, and because of that, bro, Bragnite he's a true hero, bro. Like, so far, he already saved Riam's life. He already saved her. He got the back of his forearm broken. So he already saved her life and sacrificed his body, and now he's about to do it again. Like, bro, that guy is a fucking hero.
You're my goddamn hero.
I don't know, it's just got me in my feelings, bro. But the shit is so good. It's sad. Like, I'm trying to put myself in these people's position, like, to constantly have to, day in and day out, face these creatures or these enemies that are just so physically superior to you. And they're constantly hunting you. And it's gotta feel horrible. But they persevere, man. Well, let's get back into it. As Bragnite closely approaches the giants, The giants state that the dwarf human approaching has a familiar appearance. Bragnite reaches in the back of his coverings and pulls out a bag. In this bag are what the Giants World humans call Super Supplement Red. These pills are made from giants' hearts. They are ground into a powder and compressed. At the sacrifice of having a huge burden on the human body, these pills temporarily boost a creature's physical abilities. Because of the damage it can do to the body's organs, it is used only in dire situations. Bragnite begins to eat these pills, and almost immediately, the pills begin to take effect, inducing Bragnite with superhuman strength. Bragnite is steaming with power, pushing him beyond his normal human limits. Bragnite now gets the attention of the giants by saying, "You should play with me next." The giants smile with anticipation like a kid in a candy store. They stampede towards the now tough-looking human. As they do, Bragnite launches himself at the giants. After launching himself in the air with ease, Bragnite comes face to face with this massive giant. Bragnite cocks back a punch and then connects with the giant's cheek, sending the giant flying from the immense force. Ario and Riam couldn't believe their eyes. Bragnite just launched himself into the sky and struck the giant with his bare hand that actually caused damage. The giant is caught by the others, but Bragnite continues his attack. Bragnite uses his new superhuman abilities to execute a combination attack on the clueless giant, causing even more uncommon damage. The giant shouts in pain and out of anger slaps Bragnite to the ground. Bragnite roars through the pain, ready to strike the giants again. Ario and Riam are amazed at how Bragnite is continuing to hold his own against the giants. The giants seem to really be enjoying themselves, as they are all laughing and smiling. Ario notices. The giant battling Bragnite has had enough, and grabs Bragnite in his hand and begins to squeeze to the point that Bragnite spits blood. He then throws Bragnite to the ground. As Bragnite attempts to get up, the entire group of giants swarm him and with laughter begin to rain fatal blows down upon the human. Bragnite is being struck with such force, it's as if multiple boulders keep getting dropped on his body, one after another. Bragnite loses consciousness from the pain. Ario and Riam are devastated from having to watch Bragnite be murdered in such a brutal way. Bragnite's corpse lifts from the ground due to all the impacts until a giant steps on his body, impaling it into the earth. Bragnite is dead. The giants wipe the sweat from their forehead and relish in the fun they just had. Then remember, there are still 2 humans left. The giants then ask, "Where you live, are there more of those? More dwarves that we can play rough with?" Ario is surprised. The giants are finally considering their proposal. Bragnite's plan and sacrifice worked. Riam is sickened with the violence and brutality the giants just displayed. She thought only the demons were capable of such things. Ario tells Riam to man up, because they're not done with the mission yet, and they will now move forward with the plan. So right here, we just got another comparison. Riam, the wizard, had just said that she thought only the demons were capable of such brutality and physical abilities. But now she's saying these giants they mean business. They're serious. These guys are pretty deadly. So it's kind of nice to get that perspective from that dialogue. It's letting us know that maybe the demons, or I should say the elite demons, are going to be on par in their abilities with the giants. But the thing is that means only the elite demons, or probably the demon captains or the demon kings, are going to be able to combat those giants. We saw from a chapter earlier that it took almost an entire army of less than demons to kill just one giant. So it kind of seems like the giants kind of have the upper hand. Not to mention, remember, the giants have a chieftain that is far superior in strength and ability abilities than they are, but there's only one of him. There's multiple Demon Kings. If I'm not mistaken, there was 49 Demon Kings, and then there's the Great Demon King. So maybe the demons have the upper hand, but again, this is what makes this story very exciting. It's comparing the strength and abilities of these enemies who have to basically kill each other for superiority and dominance. See who's at the top of the food chain.
This your boy?
Yeah, that's my boy, nigga. We rep the same smart tech.
You just got fucked up with him. Both y'all niggas gonna get clapped up when I get back. Both of y'all niggas.
What did I do?
It don't fucking matter.
So this is really exciting. Ario and Riem begin to lead the unsuspecting giants to new humanity. Along the way, the giants kill a creature from another world, once again showing their superiority. The giants try to eat the creature, but they think it's nasty. The other giants are getting anxious and ask if they've arrived yet. Ario assures them they're almost there, and thinks that according to the map that was made, new humanity should be just over the ridge ahead. There it is, the city of new humanity. Ario and Riem gaze upon the foreign sight with awe. Its designs and structures are unique and interesting to the pair. The giants approach the site as well and ask Ario, "Oh, is that the place?" Once Ario confirms yes, the group of giants become excited and begin discussing all the havoc they plan to wreak upon the clueless city. Unexpectedly, the giant standing behind Ario and Riem raises his weapon and says, "Well, you're not of any use anymore. Goodbye." Ario understands his intent right away and shouts for Riem to use magic feather boots quickly. Riem swiftly says the magic spell, and the two quickly glide down the ridge away from the sneaky blow of the deceiving giant. The giants shout to run after the two escaping humans into the city. The giants then stampede down the ridge, causing the earth to shake. Ario asks Riem if she is ready, and she replies yes. Riem uses her magic to decorate the two with new attire, described and recommended by the old humanity survivors, so they can blend in with new humanity appearances. The giants notice the change, and they continue to chase and descend to the city. Once the giants reach the entrance to the city, they can't help but to stop and stare at oddly looking humans and structures. The giants try to locate Ario and Riem, but their disguises worked, and the giants can't tell them apart from new humanity. Riem is excited to know that they are now safe, but Ario warns her not to be careless because they might be away from the giants, but are now in the middle of a whole new kind of danger from what the old humans have described. Ario and Riem observe new humanity and definitely agree that they are indeed youthful and attractive, with interesting fashion choices. However, they look just like a regular human. As Ario and Riem walk through the crowd of new humanity, a new human senses something off about Ario, but nonetheless, the two continue to pass through. Ario thinks to himself that so far, their disguises are continuing to work, but weirdly enough, the giants are in sight of the new humans, but no one is showing signs of concern. The giants are getting annoyed that their presence isn't inducing the fear in these new humans that they are used to, so they decide to just start destroying the city and murdering people. The giants begin their rampage upon the city and head towards these new humans, but yet still, the new humans show no emotion. Ario hopes the two enemies destroy each other. Alright guys, so I want to talk about this panel that shows Brag Knight after he ate the giant's hearts and he exploded with extreme power and abilities, right? So I'm gonna give my honest opinion about this, guys. I do not like the way this looks. At the current moment, when I look at this image, I don't think to myself like, oh my fucking god, bro, this is one of the coolest things I've ever saw. It looks amazing. Unfortunately, as much as I love Kiyotaro Azuma's art, because he does do really good art, and before I continue this, I want to say Kiyotaro Azuma is an amazing artist, okay? Most of the illustrations I've seen from Versus, from him, I am in love with. So in no shape or form am I saying that I don't think he's good. I think he's extremely good. And you know, sometimes we just have a day where we're just kind of off, or, you know, we're just struggling with a particular kind of image and we just can't get it the way we want it, or maybe he got it the way we want it, but I'm just not seeing his vision. You know, but when I look at this, I'm looking at Brag Knight and he just has all this muscle on him. Instead of me being impressed with it, I kind of just look at it and I'm like, he looks like an oversized dwarf is what he looks like to me, which is weird. And basically what I'm saying is I think that he doesn't look proportionate, okay? He doesn't look proportionate. He looks like the way he drew him, it makes him look like he's tiny. But this is Brag Knight. Compared to the other humans, Brag Knight is a giant. He has long legs and long arms, and he was already pretty muscular. So in no shape or form is he a dwarf. Now he might be a dwarf to the giants, but that's the giants. To other humans, he's supposed to be this massive guy. But when I look at this image, man, it's like his arm does not look proportionate. His legs most certainly don't look proportionate. They look very short, you know, and I hate to bag on my man's image like this because, again, he is an amazing artist, but there is a way to draw individuals with a lot of muscle. They're just induced with all of this power, right? So they have all this muscle. Is a way to draw them to where they look super buff, but they still look like they're in proportion, okay? And let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys up with a couple of examples, right? Now, I can't help but to do this, but I compare everybody's art to Yusuke Murata's from One Punch Man manga, right? Because I think Yusuke Murata is, if not the best, one of the best artists, manga artists, and his art is just amazing, right? So let's compare Brag Knight here to some of the super buff characters that Yusuke Murata has created for One Punch Man. So a couple of examples of that would be Golden S, right? Golden S is one of the transformations of Black S, and when he transforms, he turns into this bodybuilder that has this golden, I don't know if it's like steel or titanium body, and Yusuke Murata does an amazing job drawing him. It's like he uses the shading to definitely make it look like his body is made up of like a gold resistant metal, right? And it looks great. But when you also look at him, even though he has all these muscles stacked on one another and such, he looks in proportion. His legs still look long. His arms still look like the right, length. His torso still does. He just looks like he has normal proportioned body, but just packed with muscle. And that's one of the perfect ways to draw essentially a super buff bodybuilder build, right? And then I'm just going to give one more example. Super Alloy Darkshine. If you look at Super Alloy Darkshine from multiple angles, whether it's his back or his front, again, Yusuke Murata does an amazing job at putting all this muscle on this character, but yet he doesn't look dwarf. He doesn't look like he has short legs or short arms. He still looks in proportion, okay? So again, not trying to bag on my man Kiyotaro Azuma, because you can look at all his other chapters and you could tell that dude can draw. He's way fucking better artist than me. I'm shit compared to Kiyotaro Azuma. I probably couldn't even do as good of a job as the image that I'm bagging on right now, essentially. But nonetheless, I'm going to compare it to Yusuke Murata's, and if I'm comparing them, it just isn't as good because the proportions are way off. And I get it, he's trying to draw this dude who, Brag Knight, he's super buff and he's just got all this extra power and energy from eating the giant hearts. I get that, but I don't think that means let's draw the character out of proportion, okay? That's just my opinion on that. I would definitely say he dropped the ball, man, because images like these are supposed to be the images that really sway your readers to either love or just think it's okay. And this could have been an image that made people's minds get blown. But for someone like me, it just didn't do it for me because of that tiny issue. I think the shading is great. I think his shading looks pretty good. It almost looks like Brad Knight's body is like hot. right? Because he's got the steam coming off of him and stuff. It kind of reminds me of Luffy from One Piece when he transforms into his bigger self. But yeah, you know, he did a really good job with the shading and everything like that. All of that looks amazing. It's just the proportions look off, and I feel like this was a missed opportunity for not only Kiyotaro Azuma, but the manga itself. Okay, so that's just my opinion on that. That's it for this video. If you found this video entertaining, please hit the like button below, as that helps with the algorithm. And if you're going to come back to my channel to watch more of my videos, please hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and you'll get notified when I upload my new videos. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.
Give me that.
You the one, Jerry. You the one, baby.